Today I'm going to talk to you about the green mixing trick in watercolor that changed my paintings. Hi, I'm Kelly. If you are new here, welcome. I am an artist, a teacher, and someone who truly believes it's never too late to start learning watercolor. I have been painting for years now, and what I have learned, especially from teaching thousands of people, is watercolor isn't about talent. It really is about understanding a few simple concepts and then giving yourself permission to play. So a lot of my students come to me later in life in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and up. And almost all of them say, I wish I had started sooner. But you know what? Honestly, there is no better time than today. And if you didn't get a chance to watch last week's video, I talk about 50 and plus and starting watercolor and why it's so important. On this channel, I share tips, tricks, my own playtime, and I love breaking things down, making it a little bit more simple and less overwhelming for you, hopefully. Now, I know that watercolor can be unpredictable and it can sometimes be frustrating, but honestly, once you understand how it works, it's usually about the water and your paper and the pigments and your brushes. It's a little bit of everything. But once you understand all of that, it really does truly become freeing. So if this headline grabbed your attention because you're having trouble with your greens, then stick around. We're gonna go into it a little bit, and I'm hoping it helps. All right, well, let's get into it. So have you ever painted a landscape and you thought, why does this look fake? And why do my trees look neon? And why does that look so flat or feel flat? Well, today we're talking about one of the biggest watercolor mistakes that I see, especially for beginners in landscapes, and it's all about green. If your greens feel too bright, maybe too chalky, too artificial, this video is going to help. And I'm also going to show you a really simple mixing trick that I'm going to tell you I just learned. I've learned after 20 years of painting. How ridiculous is that? But it's using the color yellow and one other color, and it makes the most beautiful natural green that I have seen. I love it. All right, so before we jump in, I just want to say thank you to my Patreon members. You guys saw the full version of this painting all in real time with talking and step-by-step process. So I do go much deeper over there. And if you want full tutorials instead of the shorter YouTube version, that's where they live. And I appreciate you so much for supporting what I do. One of the biggest mistakes is grabbing a pre-mixed green and putting it straight onto the paper. Now, most tube greens are too intense. They're either too cool, too artificial looking. And you know what? If you're looking in nature, it's rarely one flat green color. Even in the summer, the greens will shift. You'll have yellow greens, olive greens, deep shadow greens. You'll have some muted, more earthy tones. And of course, depending on the light, that can change the green. So when we use one green everywhere, guess what happens? Your painting's going to feel flat. It's going to look kind of cartoonish. So mistake number 2 is not muting your greens. This is a big one. So for real landscapes, they are full of neutralized color. So if your greens feel really loud, they need to be softened. And ways to mute them, a couple different ways. You can add a touch of red to it. You can add a bit of burnt sienna, or you can mix your own from scratch. And one of my favorite ways to mix my greens is just using yellow and ultramarine blue. Now, that will give you the basic green, and of course you can adjust it, more blue, less blue, more yellow, less yellow. But you can also add a little bit of a brown, an umber, a sepia, something like that. And that's usually where I get my darker greens. I usually add more blue or more brown to it. Okay, and that's how that subtle dulling is going to make things look a little bit more realistic almost instantly. All right, here's the trick that I learned just today. I was 56 years old when I found this out, and don't laugh at me because you might know this already, but this was like a game changer or something I never did. And so I was watching on TikTok or YouTube, I can't remember which, it was a short, or it could have been Instagram, they were mixing acrylic paints. They had yellow, and they were talking about greens and how, again, cartoony they come looking out of the palette or out of the tubes. And they said add black to your yellow. And I was like, okay, well, I've never done that with watercolor. I wonder what that will look like. Now, a lot of kits don't come with black, but this kit, the Rosa kit, actually has like 3 different greens in here, plus it has an ivory black. So I've got a lot of options in the greens on this one already. But if you're a beginner, you might just have like those primary colors. And I always recommend you get bleed-proof white as well as some black gouache or black. And I tried it with black gouache as well, and you're not using a whole lot of thick paint with this, so it's still very translucent. So black and yellow. It was a game changer. So keep in mind, though, that not all blacks will behave the same, and when you mix a warm yellow with a cool black, you get this deep, earthy, incredible natural green. And it's super moody. It's very flexible. It's easy to push it either warmer or cooler, so you can add more yellow for more springy color or add more of the black for more of that pine forest shadow. And this feels so much more organic. Doesn't look artificial at all, and it's really simple. And you can even drop it into wet areas and let it bloom for like this really natural variation, which is what I'm going to do here. I think this is going to be my new color to go to for my darker values, because I'm always mixing that ultramarine blue. And if I look at my ultramarine blue in this kit, I barely have anything left because I use the blues for the sky, I use them for the water. And so when I use them for the trees and the green as well, it really goes away fast. So I always have my blues gone. So I think this is going to save my blues as well. All right. Also want to talk about I'm curious if you use tube greens or are you already mixing your own greens? And have you ever tried mixing the yellow with the black for green? I would love to hear. Let me know in the comments down below. Also, maybe what your favorite green is. All right, so I hope this helped you guys. If it did, give it a thumbs up. It really does help my channel. And if you want more practical watercolor tips like this, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. That way you'll get an email. And if you want the full-time tutorial of this painting, it is available on my Patreon membership. I'd love to have you over there. All right, guys, go mix yourself some greens. Have fun with it. If you were struggling forever with those fake-looking greens, I'm hoping that this is going to help you elevate your watercolor landscapes. Thanks so much for watching, and if you missed last week's video on 10 tiny habits that are holding you back in watercolor, you can check that one out next. Have yourself a great week, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.